welcome to another Actualize After Hours session. We're here today with our new recruit, Ricky, and he's gonna play the werewolf game with us, and it's probably gonna go horribly the first time, but then it'll get really good. So today we're gonna be playing with werewolves. We're gonna be playing with a seer, a robber, a troublemaker, and an insomniac, and then a bunch of villagers. That's basically what we're gonna start with. We might change things up as we go along. Depending on how comfortable we get as a group, we might change up those roles, but that's what we're gonna start with. Did everyone receive an assigned role from me? Everyone knows what they are. Fantastic, everybody knows their role. So now it is time to set the town to sleep. Sleep, town, sleep. Shh, sleep, go to bed, go to bed. No peeking, it's not fun. All right, the town has fallen asleep. Quiet slumber, quiet noises. Take over the town. It's nice and quiet, everyone's sleeping. And then, unfortunately, the werewolves come to town. So werewolves, wake up and look for other werewolves. If you see another werewolf, you have a friend, and that's awesome. If you see no other werewolves, you may ask me to look at one of the center cards, and I will show it to you. Werewolves, it is now time for you to go to sleep. Sleep, werewolves, sleep. Seer, wake up, Seer! You get the lovely job of choosing one other player's card to look at, which you can type to me, or give me two numbers, and I will show you two of the center cards. Seer, it is now time for you to go to sleep. Sleep back into your slumber. Next to wake up is the robber. Robber, wake up! You may choose one other player whose card you wish to steal. Please go ahead and send me the name of that player via the Zoom chat. Or, I mean, it's always possible. You do not need to steal somebody's card. It's not absolutely necessary, but you probably should because it's super fun to steal people's cards. All right, Robert, it is now time for you to go back to sleep. Even robbers need time off from stealing shit. I mean, things. Pardon my French. Next to wake up is the troublemaker. Troublemaker, wake up! And I keep saying Slack. Zoom chat me two names of two people who you would like to switch, cause chaos. And I will switch them here, and you will have no idea the trouble that you have sown. Yes, good. All right, troublemaker, please go back to sleep. Insomniac, wake up. Insomniac, you now get the lovely luxury of seeing what your card is. Is it the same? Has it changed? I don't know. That's for you to know. Okay, Insomniac, it is now time for you to go back to sleep. Sleep, Insomniac. Finally, it's been such a long night. All right. The town has been strewn with chaos. Wake up! Time to discuss. 5 minutes on the clock.
Who's the werewolf?
Well, you obviously.
Question a werewolf would ask.
A werewolf wouldn't have to ask. They would already know.
Oh, wait.
We start.
Wait.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna say we usually start with villagers. Anybody wants to pony up if they're a villager?
I'm a villager.
Something a werewolf would say.
How many villagers are there, Denny, in this scenario?
We have 2 total villagers in the deck.
Oh, right.
And I will make a distinction, by the way, just for Ricky's sake and everyone else's sake, that villager and on the village team are different. There's an actual villager card.
So Amanda, Lisa are villagers. Peter, what are you?
I want to hold that back just for a second.
I'm going to amend mine and say I am on the village team.
Oh.
I'm also on the village team.
Everyone
Well,
is gonna say
I
they're
think
all
everybody's gonna say they're on the
The
village
village team. Good time. Slept through the night like a baby.
team.
same.
Yep.
Slept through the
In
night.
fact, it was such a soothing narration, even the cat fell asleep. Just watched his little
Out
eyes.
like lights. Maybe that's some late night hijinks. I don't know, but I was out.
Right, what time do we start, Danny? We spent about a minute, 2 minutes.
You have 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining.
Mhm, mhm.
Bad John.
How much longer do you want to hold out, Peter? I can tell you mine.
Yeah, I'd like to hear.
Sure. So I'm the robber.
What'd you steal?
I want Peter to tell me who he is first, and then I'll tell him whose card I swapped.
So you're very interested in my card, huh?
I seem to be.
I am a troublemaker, and I don't want to reveal what I did.
He's
Oh,
playing
I'm-
hardball.
I'm gonna call both of you right now, actually. So I am the seer. And I looked at 2 cards in the center, and there is the troublemaker in the center. So sorry, Peter.
Ooh.
I'm also going to call Brian because Brian said werewolf, and there was another werewolf card in the center.
So
So
I
I
can-
don't believe
so-
either of you.
So first of all, we know Peter's a werewolf, so that should be sufficient, and we can just move on with our lives.
Why would that
And-
be? You also lied about what card you had. Yes.
Weird.
No, and if I was a werewolf, I would try to protect Peter, and I'm not. So that's one thing. The other thing
No, you wouldn't
is
because there's only one.
I looked at Ricky's card, and Ricky is the insomniac, which means he got to look at the switched card, which means he ended up as the robber. Yes.
That's correct.
So, unless me and Ricky are also both werewolves or something, and we're in cahoots like that.
So,
You make a compelling argument.
I was gonna say,
Thank you.
so
Yeah, it worked out super well that he was the insomniac because he can like back that up. Yeah, Peter really got screwed this game, just in terms of
Yeah.
like picking one that Lisa happened to pick.
Yeah, no,
And
no.
also my story
Yeah.
is correct.
Right. We
Yeah.
I'm happy to go into the final vote. That was a very poorly calculated gamble. But I thought Brian, when you were calling on me, I'm like, okay, if Brian's a robber and he switched with me, I can start messing around with like if I'm a troublemaker and I switch with somebody else. But Lisa literally saw the 2 worst possible scenarios. If there was another werewolf in play, then I could have made some more lies. But if she literally saw that there was another werewolf, then there's literally only one werewolf in play. And so I have
Right.
no other.
I will send it to a vote.
And Lisa,
Everyone
just to be clear,
send
I
me
said
messages.
werewolf. Just
Who you would
You
like
know.
to vote for?
eh,
Oh, I didn't DM you.
Yeah, you can put in the DM of me because you will.
That's all right. That's all right.
No more
Alright.
Zoom chats.
And it does turn out Peter is being murdered, and Peter was.
we know who Peter's voting for next.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
no,
here's
Peter already voted for you, Brian.
as a third-party observer, I have some insights that I would like to make. My first insight is that Amanda literally said she was a villager and got away with it. I'm just putting that out there. She said 2 words and she was done, and no one questioned her. And Peter, I want you to learn from that. Second thing. Second thing I want to observe is that Lisa was actually very astute in calling Brian out when Brian said werewolf. And Peter, I want to make another suggestion. You could have jumped on that and claimed he must have stolen your card and he's defending it. Now, of course, that wouldn't work out because Ricky was in fact the insomniac, but it was a moment of opportunity.
Yeah, you're right. I flinched. I was like, I put everything on the fact that I'm
It's
like,
hard
if
to
the
play.
seer doesn't see my card,
The
it's very easy for me
And
to screw
And,
everything.
oh, it was painful.
She's got a 2 out of 3 chance, but then she also saw the werewolf, so that even eliminates the possibility of me throwing
there's
blame
2
to
werewolves.
anybody else.
She saw the 2
So,
cards. She
yeah.
didn't see the villager. I felt really bad when I had to show Lisa those 2 cards. I was like, oh, this is it for Peter.
No, you're right. Yeah, I mean, like the easy route, and this is the thing, Ricky, like the easy route is always say you're a villager. If you're a werewolf, give yourself a little bit more opportunities there, but it's also like not as interesting. I just wanted to see what would happen. But that the fact that the seer literally saw the 2, maybe I don't know, the 2 things I just immediately ran out of like choices in my head. I'm like, what the hell do I say now?
I just dealt the cards and I couldn't do it. I'm shuffling them again.
I don't think we usually play with this many rolls, do we?
Yeah, I
There's
think
4
so.
rolls.
Maybe. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like we've played with 3. I don't know that we've played with 4 before.
The insomnia
With this few people.
Yeah.
What makes it interesting is when there's a slightly larger group, then there's a role where somebody wants to die, and so there's always sort of there's sort of an out, right, where you can say like if in this situation people would have to stop and say, wait, is Peter trying to kill himself?
Yeah.
And did he out himself in that way? Did he lie on purpose, kind of thing?
I forgot about
but
that.
in a smaller group, it's like you have to play, I think, a little more conservatively.
Okay. So I am now dealing out the cards one more time. And yeah, this is fine. So I'm going to once again slack you your roles individually. So you should be receiving a Slack message from me. Okay, did everybody receive their role? Nods, yes, great. All right, it is now time once again for the town to fall asleep. Sleep, sleep, people. Close your eyes. Go to bed. No peeking. All right, and in the night, the first thing that happens is the terrifying werewolves wake up and look for other werewolves. Do it. And if you are alone as a werewolf, you may request to look at one of the center cards by holding up a finger for me. All right, werewolves, go to sleep. Next to wake up in the night time will be, I'll make sure I have my roll order correct, the seer. Seer, wake up, and you can do one of 2 things. You can look at another player's card and slack that name to me, or you may look at 2 of the center cards by holding 2 fingers out with 2 different numbers, and I will show you those cards. Okay, seer, you may go to sleep. Next to wake up in the night time is the robber. Robber, wake up! Rob somebody's card by slacking me there. I keep saying slacking. Zooming me their name. And I will show you what your new card is. All right, robber, it is now time for you to go back to sleep. Next to wake up, troublemaker. Troublemaker, wake up! Cause chaos. Switch 2 people's cards by slacking me their names, and I will swap them here on my board, and you will not know what you did, and they will not know what they did. And it will be hilarious. Okay, troublemaker, you may now go to sleep. Next is the insomniac. Insomniac, wake up, and I will show you what your new card is, if it is indeed new. It may be old, it may be new, nobody knows. Insomniac, you may go back to sleep. All right. Town, who wake up and discuss. You have 5 minutes on the clock.
I am on the village team.
Me too.
Does saying you're on, does that just mean you're saying you're not a werewolf?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I'm on the village team.
Yeah, so am I.
Anybody feel like they're not on the village team?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
if somebody's not on the village team.
I'm not on either team.
Ah.
I'm just the narrator.
Mm-mm.
I will tell you what I was, but I don't want to talk about what I did yet. I was the robber. So I stole a card from one of you.
Whose card did you steal?
What did I just say to you?
I know, I'm trying.
Sorry.
Any villagers want to own up to their village status?
Sure.
Sure.
I caused some trouble. Maybe switched a couple.
Okay. Who would you switch?
I don't want to say.
So you're saying you were a troublemaker?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And Lisa and Brian, did you both say you were villagers?
Just regular old villagers?
How many villagers do we have, Danny? You said 2 villagers?
Two villager cards.
Claiming to be both villagers.
So if we're going by everybody's face value.
Mhm.
Oh, I haven't said what I am.
Nope.
There's that.
I was an insomniac, which means we have no seers, 2 villagers. Nobody
And no
claiming to be a
werewolves.
werewolf. A
So-
robber.
Did yours get switched, Peter?
Uh,
You don't want to say, probably.
yeah, we need. How much time do we have, Danny?
2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to start revealing some information. Everybody's cards are on the table. Nobody's claiming to be a seer, which makes it harder. We have a lot less information to work with. I did not end up being an insomniac. So either Amanda or Ricky, somebody's gonna have to reveal some information so we can figure out what's going on. My suspicion's on Brian just because he didn't start the conversation and he started it last time. But you know,
I'm the new guy. I'll spill the beans. I
Go for
switched Lisa and Peter.
Okay.
So Peter is a villager, and then
No,
Lisa
no.
is an insomniac? No.
yeah. Well, if we're all telling the truth.
I took
Oh,
Brian.
but Peter, you would
Wait.
know if you were a villager now.
Yeah, I am not a villager now.
Mhm.
So I can't take somebody at their word at this point. I can't, I don't, okay, I'm gonna lay out what I know.
Okay.
I'm not a werewolf as far as I know. I'm definitely not a werewolf because I was the insomniac. And so you can take me at face value or not, but here's what I know. Amanda said she was a robber. There's only one robber. Is that correct, Danny?
Yes.
Correct.
I ended up being a robber. If Ricky switched me and Lisa, which comes first, the troublemaker or the robber?
Robert goes first.
Robber goes first.
Game's getting complicated.
Yeah, I guess Amanda, if you want to tell us who you swapped, I could have sworn Amanda swapped with me because I ended up being the robber.
I didn't swap with you, no. But Ricky says that he swapped you with someone else.
Yeah, he said he swapped me and Lisa.
Yep.
Amanda, who did you swap with?
Who did I swap with?
How much time do we have, Danny?
You said Brian. I thought I heard you say Brian.
I did say
She
Brian.
didn't say. How
Oh,
much time do we have, Danny?
45 seconds.
it's Amanda.
Cool.
Did we?
It's Amanda,
It's Amanda.
for sure.
It's
So
yes,
evasive.
It's also Peter. I'm gonna
Oh.
trust Ricky on this one.
Whoa. I'm telling
Cool.
you.
Let's
I
just
don't know.
vote for Amanda. That's the easy
Yeah.
one. Very evasive.
Why is
Done
it
deal.
easy one?
Oh no.
Like,
Peter's,
2 minutes ago,
Peter's
right?
been all over the place with this.
No, I am a robber. I ended up as a robber. Started off insomniac, ended up as a robber.
20
Yep,
That is
seconds.
what happened.
You don't
We got
believe
red
it.
herrings
Okay,
at
fine,
the-
then-
We don't have
then
time to
Amanda.
hash it out. We just
You're
have
right.
to vote
Amanda.
for Amanda.
We need
I'm gonna follow
consistent.
Brian's lead. We're voting for Amanda. Sorry, Amanda.
Amanda.
Oh,
All right.
Thanks for the job. You got
3, 2, 1,
Thanks for the job.
it.
Oh man.
Okay,
Oh,
waiting for votes.
oh.
You have to type them too, or you can't just yell my name. Rude.
All right, the majority has already voted, and they have voted for Amanda. So let us see what Amanda's card was.
I took it from Lisa.
I knew it.
Okay, all right. As the third party observer, I have more wisdom to bestow. Firstly, Brian, you chopped off the head of your teammate.
Who?
You.
Oh, I forgot that I.
You
Oh,
didn't.
damn it.
Wait, you were the
Brian
werewolf?
was Also.
Right.
Damn it! Damn it!
The
Damn it!
whole
I knew
time
I
I was like-
was.
Yeah, I was like, Brian has said
Stop,
nothing this whole
Brian, you
time.
went so hard on the logic train.
I'm so sorry, Amanda. I somehow I had it in my head. I was like, well, because Lisa and I were werewolves,
Lie.
and then I wasn't. Yeah, that's
no,
upsetting.
did you get the
Apologies.
swapping messed
concerned
up?
because she claimed to be a villager. I knew she was lying, and then you also claimed to be a villager, and I was like, if he's also a werewolf, I'm kind of screwed. But Peter
Right,
ended
that's
up with
exactly
my
what
cards. So I was like, ugh.
Peter, you had
Wait.
some backwards deductive reasoning to figure out there, and it was a
That's
little.
disappointing.
Yeah.
But it was still pretty good. Lisa threw Peter under the bus because Lisa did not realize that her card had been stolen by Amanda.
Right.
And Brian, that was your opportunity to jump on that.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
like the classic werewolf, like super confusing, like
This
You know,
got very
people's-
confusing in the
people's
best
roles
way.
got swapped, right?
When
And so,
Amanda
like, and you don't know who you're
And then Ricky
trying to
was
throw
like,
under the bus.
swap Lisa and Peter.
I think
like,
I was excited that I knew where Lisa's card had gone, and I didn't consider the fact that I should have played that a different way.
If it makes you feel better, Brian, I voted for you too. So everyone
I-
voted
You're right.
for a werewolf.
We both voted for the real werewolves.
It's that Spider-Man meme for
Your
sure.
vote combined could have helped in a different direction. Keep in mind that the werewolves, if there are two werewolves, you do have a minority. You only have to get one other person to flip. So use that to your advantage. Anyways, that was hilarious. Well played. Ricky, you swapped two people that were great. That was awesome. That was hilarious. That was exactly what we want out of One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
Yeah, this game is so hard to play because you have to keep track of the time. You know what I mean? Like people are like, let's withhold information, let's do this, but you don't have a lot of time to end up like having a decisive vote. You know, like especially if you end up like right at the last second and everybody's like, I think it might be between these two people. Like your vote ends up getting split, and it's just really
Watch the tape. Danny's face when I swap.
I had to do this the whole time during that last area because as soon as I knew Peter had the information, I was just waiting for him to put it together. I was like, nope.
I saw you holding your
He
snacks
was a
like,
robber.
listening at
So
a time.
Peter was like, Peter in his head, he's like, Amanda stole my card. And then once Amanda was like, I didn't steal your card, Peter had to do like, you know that math meme with like Zach Galifianakis? Like that was Peter.
to start things off though, I just noticed that Brian acted differently with the first game and the second game. I think Brian's the werewolf, and the whole time we're just trying to put together this information, and Brian never said anything, and I'm like, but then Brian's like, everybody should vote for Amanda, and I'm like,
We all
God damn
did.
it, God damn it, did Brian play us all?
Yeah,
Brian
It's
almost
funny
played
because
us
probably
all.
Peter and Amanda voted for me anyway.
So it is now time to play our last round that we have time for. So I'm good. We're going to slack out your more time.
Lisa does not
All
have
right.
time.
No time?
Lisa does not have time.
Oh.
Oh no.
We can
Like-
pick up on the next
Next time.
That's fair. Yeah.
Sorry, half the episode was explaining to me how to work. So that's
No,
on
no,
me.
no.
That's true.
Okay.
And here's the fun part about that, Ricky, is that there are like 20 more roles. This is the starter pack. It gets very complicated very quickly. There's all sorts of roles. We could do the last few minutes here talking about what some of the other rules are to make Ricky excited for next time. So firstly, Ricky, one of the other roles that you could get is the Tanner. The Tanner is one of my favorite roles because the Tanner just wants to die. He doesn't even have a team. He's not on the village team. He's not on the werewolf team. He's on the Tanner team. There becomes a whole third team when the Tanner plays. And all he wants to do is get himself killed. That's it. So you can imagine playing as the Tanner creates a lot of chaos because people are like, because the Tanner doesn't want to say that he's a werewolf because then people are going to be like, he's the Tanner, don't kill him, because village team doesn't want to kill the Tanner, they want to kill a werewolf. So, and the werewolves are like, wait, we don't want to kill a Tanner either. The werewolf team also loses if the Tanner dies. So the only person who wants the Tanner to die is the Tanner. So the Tanner has to play everything all at once.
It adds that extra layer of doubt right at the end when you're like, we figured out who the werewolf was. Wait, maybe they're the Tanner.
The Tanner hates his job so much that he wants to die. Some other fun roles to look forward to. The Hunter. The Hunter gets to murder someone with him if he gets chosen. So the Hunter, if he gets picked as the werewolf, he gets to pick someone and they died too. So the Hunter can do one good final deed of taking out a werewolf with him.
Who wins then? If the Hunter picks that werewolf correctly, which team wins?
The village team wins. The village team,
even though
is
the Hunter
actually
died,
okay with the villager dying, so long as a werewolf team also dies.
I see.
Village team wins as long as a werewolf dies. Yeah, and the werewolf team wins. The werewolf team only loses if a werewolf dies. The werewolf team doesn't even care if a villager dies because the werewolves are actually super nice. Then some other roles to look forward to. This one's one of my favorites. The Minion. The Minion is a villager and on the village team, but works for the werewolves. So the Minion is trying to not kill the werewolves and trying to create chaos. It's kind of like the Tanner, except his job isn't to die. He wants to get a werewolf to be saved. And he's willing to take a hit. He's willing to even sacrifice himself. But the village team, they don't want to kill the Minion because that's killing a villager. So he's like a pawn of the werewolves. He knows who the werewolves are, but the werewolves, they actually don't know who he is. So there's a whole fun element there. And then, of course, the most complicated role of all, the doppelganger. The doppelganger role. Have we actually played with this, you guys?
I don't think
We haven't
so.
played with most of those. We've played with
Yeah.
the Tanner. We haven't played with the
Yeah.
Hunter. We haven't played with the Minion.
It's because there's always someone new I have to introduce. Once we get this set, then I can introduce the crazy stuff. Okay, this is one of my favorite roles, the doppelganger. She goes first before werewolves, before anyone. She chooses one person. So let's say Amanda is a doppelganger. She gets to choose any of you and look at your cards. Let's say she chooses Lisa. She looks at Lisa's card. She becomes whatever Lisa's card was. So if Lisa is a villager, Amanda's now a villager. If Lisa was a werewolf, Amanda's a werewolf now. If Lisa was a troublemaker, Amanda's a second troublemaker. So you can get duplicates. You can get 2 troublemakers, you can get 2 robbers, you can get 3 werewolves, you can get 2 Tanners, you can get all sorts of stuff with a doppelganger. She gets whatever she sees and she becomes that thing. Now, for some of it, she does the role right away. So if she's a troublemaker, she actually switches people immediately. If she's the robber, she steals someone's card immediately. But for the other roles, like waking up in the night, like werewolf role, she wakes up with the werewolves. So 3 werewolves could wake up and then you're like, oh shit. So, the doppelganger is very chaotic. Like if you're looking to add another layer of random chaos, that's the doppelganger. She's the best. And then there's expansion packs with even more roles. That's just from this one main expansion. Yeah. So, One Night Ultimate Werewolf. There's the tip of the iceberg.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. All right. Since Lisa has to go, we're going to go ahead and end our Actualize After Hours. But next time, we're going to get into it. I'm going to throw the doppelganger right at y'all. We're just going to jump in. And
It's just 3 doppelgangers, 2 villagers, 1 werewolf.
1 Tanner, no village,
No villagers.
no werewolves.
I do want to play a game with no villagers. That sounds super fun. Just 0 villagers. Everyone, no one can claim it. I like that. All right, next time.
Cool.
See you guys next time.
See ya.